We are. Okay. Now we're live.
Now we're live.
Wow. So sorry about that. Have no idea what was going on with that last broadcast. So, welcome to the actual Essentials for a Healthy School Year. So, now we're going to dive into keeping these immune systems strong all year long. Ashley's double checking. Can you please turn that off?
I'm trying to figure
Holy
out how to
moly,
mute
she's...
it.
Can you maybe do this? Okay. So, sorry about all the technical difficulties. Obviously, we're more specialized in health than we are technical things.
It's true.
Oh boy. So, this particular workshop is about keeping the immune systems strong. Now, hear me when I say this, that I did not say this is going to prevent you from ever getting sick ever. That's not what's going to happen. If you get sick, you're likely going to recover faster, which is great. And it may also prevent things from happening as frequently. So those are some things you can expect. But keep this in mind too. When you are going through an illness or a sickness, your body is learning that virus or that bacteria so that it can fight against that much better the next time. It's the same reason people weight train for sports. Like, you build your body up to fight those battles. And that's what we're going to be talking about with the Essentials for a Healthy School Year, keeping the immune system strong all year long. So let's dive right in. What's our first one?
Full night of sleep.
Ooh, that's a good one. Like I talked about on the little commercial I did earlier today, the way this is going to flow is I'm going to talk about the sciencey stuff, I'm going to talk about the concept stuff, and then what this amazing lady is so great at doing is applying it. Like saying, here's what we do in our household to make these things happen, and the application of it. So I'm so grateful that you are here, because often I get asked in the office, like, oh, well, how do you do this? And what I usually say is, I should ask it. That's an Ashley question. You should ask Ashley.
Yes.
So, getting a full night of sleep. The reason that's important is the sleep is where your immune system repairs itself. And if you're not getting a full night of sleep, your immune system's not going to be at 100% the next day, because all your muscles, tissues, systems, everything in your body heals and repairs while you're sleeping, mostly. And the reason we need a good night of sleep every single night is so that our immune systems can be as strong as possible to have that repair and restoration to be ready for that next day. So what are some strategies we use to actually make that happen in our household?
Yeah, so the first thing would be
By the way, this might happen.
Awesome.
So adults, we need like 7 hours or more of sleep every single night. Everyone kind of has their sweet spot with that. Kids need more. Typically 9 hours or more per night is what children need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first, you would start with having a routine and to be consistent. And so I know that gets really difficult with sports and activities and things like that on the weekend, but try as best as you can to just stay consistent with what you're doing, with a consistent bedtime, and to have that routine and that wind down time, especially after sports and activities. You need that time to just wind down, especially for kids. They're all hyped up from sports that they just need that time. So even if it's just like playing a quiet game or Legos or playing with dolls or anything like that, reading especially, just really helps to just have the body and the mind rest. And then that routine, so what time are you going upstairs to just get ready and brush our teeth and do pajamas and all those things. And then you really have to work backwards from how many hours of sleep you need, like what time do I have to wake up, how many hours from that, what time do I have to go to bed, and then what time do I have to start that routine? Like, how long does that routine take? And that might be different for every family. Like, maybe your routine's 20 minutes, maybe it's 45 minutes. So you just have to figure that out for you. For us, we go upstairs at about 7:30 to pajamas, brush teeth, do all those things, get ready for bed, pick out our clothes for the next day, and then wind down and read, and we do family devotional and those types of things. And our youngest son goes to bed, lights out at 8. And then our oldest son stays up and he reads for another 30 minutes, so lights out at 8:30. So he's still part of our routine together, and he just gets to stay up a little longer to read. And then you want to make sure your room is ready for sleep too. So it needs to be dark, it needs to be quiet. Some people like white noise, but oftentimes it just needs to be quiet and dark.
Yeah, we use some room darkening shades, and or if you don't want to get that fancy, just pin up a dark sheet
That's
over.
what we do.
Yeah, we actually do. We're not that.
That's
we're not fancy people.
Yeah, and that's from when they were little and they were napping during the day. It's just like a black piece of cloth that goes over there to block some of that sunlight out. And another important thing is screens are not a wind down time either. So make sure that we're not watching a show or doing screens. In fact, they say for kids they shouldn't have screens for about 2 hours before the lights out period, the bedtime, because it just stimulates their brain.
And by the way, if I could ask a favor before we jump into the second one, we can actually, for some reason, with the way we're doing this through our computer, we're not able to see the comments in there. So I apologize. If there's comments, we'll be sure to go on there and answer those afterwards. So feel free to leave comments below, and we encourage you to leave comments or questions below. We'll be happy to answer those for you. Mm-hmm. Also, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like or love bubbles on this, just to show that you're there, you're listening, that you're loving the content. And then also, we would really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind hitting the share button as well. We would love to get this content out into the community so that people all around us and in communities all over the place can be doing these things as well. Because if we can get the message out of the ways to keep these immune systems strong all year long, it's going to be a healthier, happy school year for everybody. Yeah. Amen? Awesome. Amen. Yeah, so hit the share button, hit the like and love buttons, and leave a question or comment if you'd like to.
Mm-hmm. On to the next.
Onward.
Lots of water.
Lots of water. If you've been to one of our welcome workshops or our other workshops, you know we talk a lot about water, and I'll give you the equation for that in a second. But water, let me just put that right there.
Nice.
Water is super important, especially when it comes to the immune system. You have to realize that all of these it's a fancy word, all these immunological reactions that happen in the body happen in fluid, happen in water. So it's super important for us to maintain our hydration levels so that those reactions happen appropriately, at the right speed, and aren't slowed down because it doesn't have enough fluid environment around it. So that's why when it specifically comes to the immune system, water is so important. Now here's the equation you want to write down when it comes to water. Take your body weight and divide it by 2. And you can use that for anybody. Take your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So I'm about 180 pounds. That means I need 90 ounces of water every single day, which means I need 3 of these because these are 30 ounces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and since kids are different than adults, you have to calculate it and then buy a water bottle accordingly. So you could buy a water bottle that's their size, and they just know they have to drink that whole thing. Or, like I said, if it's a smaller one and you know that they have to drink 2 or 3, yep, that's one of our sons. And to set goals. So sometimes that's hard for kids, right? To set goals. So we have 2 goals really is to try to have your water bottle half gone by the time you go to lunch, mm-hmm. and to have the entire thing gone by the time you come home from school. So that's kind of the goals that we set for that, and to just have it with them. If they can have it at their desks or by their backpack, make sure they grab it when they go to lunch, things like that. And it's just that routine and that consistency of always having water with you. And also another, I don't know if it's a goal or incentive, but we've always had this since they were really little, like even toddlers, is that for us, we don't let them have any like special, even like a juice box or sparkling water until they finished all their water. So that's kind of an incentive too, like if they want apple juice or something when they come home, like you have to make sure you get all of your water, because we don't consider
we don't count that
juice box and stuff for your water intake. You have to get all of your water, and then you can have something special like apple juice.
Yeah. And when she said whole water bottles, like one of these whole water bottles would be both of our kids' intake for a full day. So that's what she was talking about with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Next is whole foods and supplements.
Whole foods and supplements. Whole foods. Whole foods.
Yes. Not partial.
Here's the deal. Food of the earth. If you've been to like one of our nutrition workshops or even the welcome workshop, I talk about this concept. If you can put that food item on the table right there and then look at it and ask yourself, did this or did the ingredients in this particular food item come from the earth like that? Mm-hmm. Whole foods from the earth have way more nutrients that are going to support that immune system much better than anything processed possibly could.
Yeah.
And then the same goes true with supplements as well.
Yeah.
And so I'll just get into a couple of those things, then you can kind of say how we do those.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about like we use 3 basic foundational supplements. You want to maybe show it? We got some show and tell. Oh my goodness, we got a show and tell here. She's got a whole bunch of stuff like off screen here. It's gonna make its way all. We're gonna be all buried in stuff for in a second. I'm gonna put that over here. So we use Juice Plus. It's a fruit and vegetable concentrate. We use this instead of multivitamins, so that's one of our foundational things. Now we have capsules that my wife and I take, and then we have chewies that our kids like, and if kids who have been to our office after your adjustments, you get those. I mean, what better than some fruits and vegetables after an adjustment? I think that's a match made in heaven, much like peanut butter and jelly. But this is one of our foundational ones. Yep. The next one is a fish oil. Yep. Fish oil is super important just for overall health, and there's so many health benefits to it. It does, by the way, Juice Plus and fish oil both have amazing research on how they help support the immune system. So those are kind of our baseline ones, but they also specifically help with the immune system. Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, in our kind of baseline foundational supplements is probiotic. Had to pull that one out of the refrigerator because this has to stay refrigerated and cold.
Yeah. And all of these have an adult and a kid option as well.
Yes. So with that one, it's obviously a lot of people know that probiotic is good to help support digestion, but in reality, that's also one of the first line of defenses in the immune system too, which is a little known fact. Now, in addition to that, specifically during the school year, if we want to keep our immune systems up even higher and revved even higher because they're going through more of a viral or bacterial load, being around all people and things that close. So this is a stack that works really, really well. So we stack the elderberry syrup, and for those that were on the video last week, you saw Ashley and I take shots live on camera. We're not doing that again, but I got my Batman one. She's got her cute little mason jar. You can put a little comment and a bubble on that one. I know y'all did last time anyway. But anyway, so we do, for us adults, we do 10 drops of the zinc in ours. I don't necessarily do the drops of vitamin D. I do the capsules of vitamin D. They have 5,000 IUs. Yeah. But we usually split a dropper for our kids. We'll do 4 or 5 drops of zinc into each of theirs, along with half of a dropper of.
They get the full dropper.
Or full dropper of vitamin D in each one.
This one is just 1,000 IUs.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then they get their elderberry syrup into those as well, and they have those. Supercharged elderberry shots with their breakfast every single morning. Yes. Like I always mentioned, for application here, you got to make sure if you have zinc in anything that is done after you've eaten your food. If you try and have some zinc in your tummy before you put food in it, you're going to find yourself a little queasy. Been there, done that. Yeah. Didn't enjoy it
to one of our children
at all. Oh yeah, Luke. It's always Luke's stories. Okay.
Yeah, so the key to incorporating these things is just routine and consistency again. And like you said, so for breakfast, we put all those in one. So we've got 3 elderberry, zinc, and vitamin D all in one at breakfast, and then probiotic as well. So that we just know that when we're making breakfast in the morning, we do those, line them up for everybody, and get majority or half of our supplements in right away in the morning. And the same with Juice Plus. We also take that as well. And the kids have their chewies with their breakfast. And then just for us, and it's easy for me to just do fish oil with dinner. So when I make you dinner, then get fish oil on the plate as well. That just helps us to remember to take it, because that's the big thing, right? You buy all these things and then you just keep forgetting to take it. So you need to just have it out and just have a routine and connect it with something. Breakfast, dinner, those kinds of things.
Ooh. That's technically called habit stacking. I don't know if...
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, sorry. Technical term there.
Awesome.
From the book Atomic Habits. It's a good book, y'all.
I'll take your word for it. And then whole foods, like you said, fruits and vegetables, obviously try to get as many of those as you can. And it's all about planning and preparation for that, because we all know that we get really busy and we're going from one thing to the next and the next, that if we don't have it planned and ready to go and ready to just grab and go, we end up in a drive-through or grabbing food that we really don't want to eat, but we have to eat. So fruits and vegetables, and like picking a day that you can maybe meal prep. So Sundays happen to be a good day for most people. Just buying all those fruits and vegetables, getting them washed, getting them cut up in separate baggies and just ready to go, so you can literally grab them and go, like running out the door, throwing them in the bag. And then all kinds of other snacks. So
Oh
that's
my
where
goodness, here's where the show and tell comes
and
in.
we have small children, so it's like
Holy
snacks
moly,
all
yeah.
day long. And so obviously try to get food that comes from the earth that way, but if you have to get packaged things, which we do too, the least amount of ingredients as possible for that, and the least amount of sugar, because there's a lot of hidden sugar in those
Bingo.
things. And sugar is really bad for your immune system, especially when you're
Science
going
moment.
through.
Sugar is an immunosuppressant, meaning that it will weaken your immune system when it's going through your bloodstream. Sugar's awful when it comes to
So even though we
immune
may
systems.
have sugar treats or things like that, we really do cut those out if one of the kids or us is sick. Like no treats, none of that stuff, just because you're going to recover a lot faster if you're cutting out that sugar. But some like grab and go snacks like applesauce pouches are super easy to just throw in a bag. They don't need to be refrigerated, but be careful because some of them do have. And a lot of this stuff can be found from Costco, like you can buy it in bulk.
Go.
It's the Go. They have another generic applesauce brand that also doesn't have sugar in it, but these don't. So it should just have just apple. Well, this is apple banana, but it has apple and banana, and then the lemon juice concentrate just to keep it from browning. So watch out for sugar in those. Some other things. These are also from Costco, like these fruit strips, these fruit roll-ups, literally just made with fruit. So, and they're fun little fruit strips.
There's a little card in there as well.
Yeah, like
fun facts card.
Sports trading cards in there. These are another like form of fruit strips that the kids like as well, and they just grab those and snack on those. Also from Costco.
Availability is big time with this. I mean, if they know they can go into the cabinet and grab that, or in the refrigerator, and there's already like cut up fruits and vegetables and stuff in there, because they want to grab something fast too, and it's what you have available for them that makes the difference.
And that's the thing, so we limit the treats and that kind of stuff. We do have those, but what's readily available for them in the pantry, they can just grab, so all that stuff isn't there. These made good bars, these happen to be the chocolate ones, but they have fruit ones and all kinds of stuff, and these are also free of a lot of the allergens, so I know these are really popular in schools, especially if there's kids who have peanut allergies and things like that. The Made Good bars, Lavara bars, these come in
so good.
Dozens of different flavors. They do have nuts in them, so if there's a peanut allergy, you have to be careful of that. But these are super filling because they're literally dried fruit and nuts, and so you get some protein in there as well. Fig bars, these are really good. Fruits.
I like to have one of those before my workout.
Yeah.
No joke. Like, she's showing you like these are just for the kids.
He takes them too.
I take
They'll
a
be
lot
like,
of
where
them.
are my bars?
Yeah.
I'm like, talk to your dad.
I'm like, the kids are out of fig bars. Can you fill those up?
Nuts
I know they don't
are
like
good.
fig bars. You're eating them all.
Nuts are always good. Mixed nuts of any kind, or you can get almonds, things like that. Those are easy on the go, super filling. Like beef sticks. So
another fan favorite of mine.
Keith's beef sticks like every day. But these are grass-fed beef
Nick
sticks.
sticks. Check these out. Nick sticks are amazing, grass-fed, and now I want to hear some comments down below. Now, you're gonna have to try it before you criticize me on this. You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
These babies right here, dipped in a little hummus.
Yeah, he dips it right in the hummus, and he said, "Oh,
I
like hummus with vegetables, but don't dip the beef stick in the hummus."
If our team is watching, they will comment on this as well, and I know a few others who are watching that might comment on it. But don't knock it until you try it. It is amazing. She even makes hummus for me too.
Yeah, we do make.
Hey, speaking of this little nutrition segment, little side note here, little survey down below, if you wouldn't mind. How many, show of hands, want to see Ashley doing some more recipes and some more, like, maybe cooking with ELC or some of those things just to, hey, if you want to see that sort of stuff, I know we did a series of cooking with ELC a while ago.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, she had a cameo.
She's uninterested in what we're saying. She also eats really well, too, by the way.
It's true.
Yeah, raw food diet for that one. But, yeah, if you want to see some recipes, we got some ideas that we want to start sharing those, and she's got so many. I mean, we have both of our ELC clean eating cookbooks at the office that we sell. That's Ashley did all the work with that. It's fantastic. Looks like Cinnamon needs to go potty, and we'll be tiptoeing around for the next, 20 minutes. So,
Okay, so beef Nick sticks. These are good. They're a little bit larger. There's 2 of them in there. Another grass-fed beef stick. This Archer's from Costco, but these are like minis, so these are good for like smaller kids or toddlers, or to just like throw in a bag.
Yeah.
Those are super good as well. And some more Costco things. So these Heavenly Hunks, the kids really like those too. It's like oatmeal. Yeah, kids. But the chocolate chips. That's a really good snack there. And then these are new-ish. You've probably seen Simple Mills, the almond flour crackers, which are really good. But they make these like sweet thin, so they're kind of like sweet little honey graham crackers, which are super good as well too. So a lot of like snacks, even though they're packaged, don't have that many ingredients in them. And like I said, it's all just about planning ahead and just being prepared and having these things to grab and to go when you need it.
What's the next one? We knew that one was going to be a little bit longer.
The next one is physical activity.
Yes. So much research has shown that physical activity activates your immune system. And it's actually in direct proportion to the intensity of that too. Now there's a caveat that I'll talk about in a second with it. The other reason why it's so important to support healing and health in the body and the immune systems is it brings more oxygen. Like when you get your heart rate elevated, that pumps your blood faster, that brings more oxygen and nutrients to all the cells in the body, and then takes and recycles away all the waste and carbon dioxide. Super important if you're keeping those immune systems strong. Now, I always get this question too, like if you're not feeling well, we still do recommend activity, just not to the level or intensity that you are at while you're at full strength. So maybe take it down to like 50% or even lower. The only goal with that is to get the heart rate a little bit up so you can start just pumping some of that more oxygen and nutrients into the body, getting it to the cells, letting them heal, support the immune system, and then taking away all the waste and carbon dioxide. Because when you're going through an immunological battle in the body, there's a lot of wastes that are kind of collateral that's made in the byproducts, and that all has to get like wiped out. So activity is good even while you're sick, just not as high intensity. But other than that, I mean, adults, kids, we all got to get our activity levels in.
Yeah, and so again, just routine and making sure that you just have a little bit of physical activity every day, especially for kids who are playing sports. That's a really good one to get them moving. Even just playing outdoors and going for bike rides, taking a walk, playing in the backyard. We even make sure we do this when they get home from school before we even start homework, just to get them some exercise and get them moving, to get their brain flowing again from being inside. And even though they do have recess at school, it's just a short amount of time. And fresh air too. So like, as much as you can get outside, the fresh air is really good for you as well. And you can also do like a morning routine. So if you don't have time and you're going from one activity to the next and then right home to bedtime, if you have time in the morning, it's a good time to have that as well. And kids can do anything with their body weight. Like they shouldn't use weights. So they can do anything from push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, squats, running in place. They can do those things in the morning, and that can help wake them up too and get their brain going for school.
Yeah. Obviously, you're talking about younger kids with that one.
Yeah, right.
What's the next one?
Proper posture.
Oh my goodness. All right, hit a comment button or thing. If you have ever seen your kid with a book or maybe a device like this, like all the time. Now I'm personally reading Berenstein's Bears at the Aquarium. I can read. Number one, it's a great book. Working my way through it. But anyway, so here's how instead you want them to be looking more forward. So we have this little rule in our house: never be looking down. Never be looking down. Listen, I've studied the spine for a long time. It's not supposed to be. Your head's not supposed to be going. It's not made to look down all the time. Mm-hmm. It's made to look forward most of the time. And so the other thing with that is look at this posture for a second. If you're like this, head's forward, shoulders are down, you know what also is being compressed? Those lungs, the chest cavity. And it can't get a full breath in. And we just talked about how oxygen is super important for keeping your immune system, but health overall. Mm-hmm. So it will prevent you from getting those full breaths in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of the ways that you can do this is just reminding them, but also showing them and teaching them how to hold the book. So our kids do that too, especially like in the car. So we have to remind them that they need to hold their book upright instead of looking down, and they start slouching and getting down. So just remind them to keep their spine straight and to hold the book up. Same with their devices, to keep them held up here and read them up at eye level. And if they are playing video games and things like that, if they could get it on a TV so they're looking versus like on a handheld device, something like that, just going to read your book.
I really hope they use this as the like image for the still on our video.
Fancy bears.
So
just those friendly, gentle reminders of your kids to just keep their eyes up and their head up. And even like our oldest son plays piano, and so sometimes he'll start doing this. And usually, like if I just kind of like put my hand here on his back, he like straightens up. So he just knows that like just very simple, like my hand on his back is like to straighten up his spine. So yeah.
Perfect.
Next.
2 more left. And by the way, just a reminder too, if you haven't, hit that share button on there. Share it with your family, your friends, everyone on your news feeds. Again, we want to get this information out so that people can really take these steps in their health and well-being for their families, their kids, and their students going to school this year.
Yeah. Chiropractic adjustments.
Chiropractic adjustments. Obviously, you knew we were going there with this one. Again, talking about spines, but I don't want to just talk about spines. The important part about spines too, not just structurally, but they house the nervous system. The nervous system travels through your spine. And chiropractic helps to maintain spinal alignment and keeps those neural pathways clear so that your brain can communicate with all parts of your body, not the least of which is your immune system. It is actually in the hierarchy one of the top things that your nervous system is constantly monitoring. In fact, if you're ever feeling like sick and down or something like that and feeling fatigued, it's because your nervous system took all its energy and forced it towards that and didn't save anything for the rest because it's a very big key to protecting you. So there's a couple big areas with that. Typically, and I see this all the time, classically upper cervical, that's where a lot of immune system related nerves come from, but really the nervous system is connected to all parts of the spinal column from top to bottom, all those neural pathways. So,
and what if you're not feeling well? Get adjusted?
Yes. So obviously the big thing is keeping regular chiropractic adjustments. And we get this question a lot. Like people will call in, I'm not feeling well, should I come in? Yes. We'll clean the table, we'll sterilize it after you've been there. You don't have to worry about that. But those adjustments will help to speed up those neurological or those immunological reactions faster, make this cold go away faster, basically, keeping it simple. And so typically think of it as a stressor to the body. Anytime you have a stressor going to the body, you need a few more adjustments in there. So if you're typically at once a week, get an extra one in there for anyone, like kids too.
And when you start to feel sick, right? When you start to feel under the weather, you don't have to wait till you're full blown, like laying on the couch, can't feel well. Like as soon as you kind of start feeling like, oh, I'm about to get sick, it's a good time to come in and get a boost adjustment and get an extra one in there. Yeah.
So and I'm not gonna say if, like our kids get sick too. When our kids get sick, and obviously I'm right here, I adjust them a couple of times a day. Why? Because I want them to get through this cold faster, that their bodies do what it needs to do, but get through it faster.
Right.
And I have seen that studies have proven that chiropractic adjustments help keep the immune system elevated and help that body fight through any of those things at their full potential.
Yeah, and that is routine. Again, that seems to be the theme here for all of them. But just keeping that routine and getting your appointments scheduled and making sure that you just, if you can, I know schedules are crazy, but the same day and time every single week, so that way it just is something that you show up and do. The kids and I get adjusted every Friday afternoon, and so we're just on the schedule, and that's just when we get adjusted. And I get the text reminders because I might just be at home or going somewhere and forget all about it. So we get the text reminders too that are like, hey,
I work in the office and I still get text reminders. I'm still on the schedule. I'm actually on the schedule twice a week. So I get adjusted too every single week and sometimes or a couple times a week and sometimes more. Yeah. But chiropractic adjustments will help this. It's also why we have that scanning technology in our office that we can measure the immune system, measure the state of how much stress is going in there, which is a direct reflection of how well that nervous system is controlling the immune system. Yeah. And that's one of the big reasons why we've invested in that technology at our office.
Yeah.
All right. What's the last one? Balanced
schedule.
As she alluded to, schedules get crazy. Schedules are always crazy. In the summer they're crazy. In the school year they're crazy. Schedules are crazy. We need to work on balancing those. Probably never going to be a perfect world where they're perfectly balanced, but it's huge to balance those things. Why? Because if we have too many things going on, our bodies are stressed. And when we're talking about kids, their bodies are extremely sensitive to that as well. She says the word routine many times here. Bodies crave routine, especially when they're younger. And so if they're constantly going 5 different ways every single day, it's really hard for their nervous systems and their bodies to have a steady state of ease there. This is another thing that our scanners can pick up, is that heart rate variability that we have. That heart rate variability scanner that we have can directly show you how much the state of stress on this body, and you'd be surprised to see how many kids, initially when they're coming in and having those initial scans, there's underlying stress there on those kids, and it's just the nature of our world right now. But so how can we manage that?
Right, so we just talked about how you should have activity, right? But we have to limit the amount of activities that we have. So being involved, in commitments. So not committing to everything, not doing every activity or every sport, just trying to balance that, especially with the number of kids you have and things like that. So saying yes to some things and saying no to some things. And so even for us, we've had to say no to some things and take some things off our plate in order to shift schedules. And every season is different, right? So as your kids get older, and there's different seasons for different things. But saying no to some of those things before, because all of a sudden you say yes to all these things, and I'm not too. It's not that I can't say no, it's just that I say yes because I just want to help everybody and be there for things. But in order to just say no to some of the things that we can't fully commit to, so we can say yes to other things that we can, because you really feel bad later when you have to say no, or you have to back out of something and then you've left somebody in a bad spot or whatever. So in order to proactively know what you can fit in, and to stop and think before you say yes to an activity, can we do this, can we do that, will it fit, will we still have time, instead of just responding yes to everything.
All right, let's put a bow on this. So have a couple things for you here. Ashley, can you show them a little free gift we have for everyone? So hey, next time you're swinging by the office, we have these out in all the rooms there, and these are a fridge magnet with a checklist of all 7 things we just talked about there. And so we made these so that they can be reminders for you and your family all year long. You slap it up on the refrigerator, and it's just reminders for us to keep doing these things day in and day out. Because if we don't have reminders, we're going to forget. I guarantee if we don't have these, then this is a great workshop, but it's the whole applied knowledge is power thing. This is the knowledge piece, but if we don't apply that, but in order to be able to apply that, we have to recall it first. And so it was a lot we talked about on this call today, on this webinar. So we made this as a free gift for anyone that joined us on this webinar. So feel free to stop by the office, grab one of these magnets. If we run out, we'll order more. We just want to make sure everyone gets a chance to do this and make this the healthiest year possible. Yeah. Also, if you haven't, now if you're one of our patients, and even if you're on wellness care and you haven't had a scan done in a while, and maybe have missed a couple of those birthday scans that you're supposed to have, we know what happens. Just remind us of that. We'll get you all scanned up. It's important to keep those scans updated as we're progressing along. Now, if you haven't been to our office before and are wondering if this could help you and your kids and your family stay healthy all year long, give our office a call. We would be happy to do a scan for you, do scans on everybody, so you can see exactly the state of their nervous systems and your nervous systems, and what potential there is to gain when we can clear that nervous system out and keep these immune systems strong and support that is one of the biggest keys of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. In fact, I know it's number 6 on the list there, but in my heart, in my mind, it is number 1. If the nervous system isn't controlling that immune system the way it's supposed to, all these other things are not going to be as productive as they could be. Yeah. So get in, get checked. We'd be happy to help you and your family stay healthy all year long. Yeah. So Apologize for the dog that was running around. At least the boys didn't run down here.
That's
But
true. I think she's looking for them.
she probably is. But it's been a true pleasure on behalf of Ashley and I and our entire team at Essentials of Life Chiropractic. We have a big passion for helping families get well and stay well. And we look forward to meeting you, serving you, and doing whatever we can to keep you and your families healthy and strong all year long.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
See you.